So hello guys, today I'll be starting NPSC second portion NPSC 2018 mains Nagaland portion for 74 marks. So I'll be starting from 2 marks, 5 marks, 10 marks and 20 marks. So let's get the video started. Question number 1, what is Zonggotepsu? So Zonggotepsu is a Ao Naga shawl. It is a Ao warrior shawl. It's called Zonggotepsu with figures of Mithun, tiger, cock, human head, doves, etc., making it strikingly picturesque. picturesque. And this shows is woven by women with clear narrative stories. So it is an Ao warrior shawl. Next, what is Mikimi? So Mikimi refers to slaves of a village chief, and if a person is unable to pay off the bride price, he becomes a Mikimi or slave to the village chief or Akuko. Suppose a village has raided another village and no, suppose a person is unable to pay off the um, bride price, so the person will serve as a slave to the village chief, and this slave is also known as Mikimi. Next, what is Inamikusa? So the Sema Naga feast of merit is also called Inamikusa, and in Inamikusa invitation is given not only to neighbor folks but also people of neighboring villages, and this is obviously observed by very rich Sema Nagas. So Inamikusa is a feast of merit, and it is in this celebration people from the village as well as the neighboring villages are called for feast, and this is observed mostly by rich Sema Nagas. Question number 4, what is the importance of Nagamis? So Nagamis is the lingua franca of Nagaland, which brings unity among various tribes of the state and creates an integration among various tribes of Nagaland, and it is also the basic medium of communication for all Nagas in Nagaland at grassroots level who do not know English and Hindi. So, Nagamis can be defined as the unofficial lingua franca of Nagaland, where people communicate with each other through Nagamis if they don't know English and Hindi. So, next, how Nagaland figures in seismic zone map. So, Nagaland, as well as the rest of the northeastern states and region of Kashmir, western and central Himalayas, northern Bihar falls under zone 5. So mention the zone 5, and these are areas of high risk zone. So the whole of India is divided into from zone 1 to 5, where the zone 1 is the zone with the low risk of earthquakes like Kerala, the southern parts of India, and the high risk zone that is in northeast region. So Nagaland is also under zone 5. Next, what is Mozo? Mozo is the Ao Naga festival, and it is celebrated on the first week of May after the sowing is done. So after the sowing is done, the Mozo is celebrated for crops to be blessed. So this is celebrated on the first week of May by the Ao Nagas. So what is the objective of the inner line permit? So the inner line permit is a official travel document issued by the Indian government to allow an Indian citizen to travel into protected area for a limited period, and three states, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram and Nagaland, are under ILB. So it is obligatory for the Indian citizens from outside states to obtain a permit from entering into protected area. So ILB is a official travel document, and it allows for Indian citizens as well as foreigners to travel into Nagaland as well as Arunachal and Mizoram for a limited period, and every outsider India as well as foreigners must obtain this ILB. So what is the provision for local self-government in the 16 point agreement? So for 2 marks you can write this as, and the para 8 of the 16-point agreement provides for that each Naga tribe shall have the following rule making, administrative and judicial fora. So there are tribal council, range council, and village council. So the first is the village council. Within village, every village should have a village council, and on top of the village council will be the range council. So the range council has replaced the area council, and the the bigger part is the tribal council. So this is the uh, provisions for local self-government. How was Naga Hills Dinzang area formed? So following the demands of the first Naga People's Convention at Kohima in 1957 on 1st of December 1957, Tinsang Frontier Division was separated from Northeastern Frontier Agency and attached to the Naga Hills District to form a centrally governed NHTO with Kohima, Mokokchung and Tinsang. So after the first Naga People's Convention in 1957, the Naga People's Convention demanded an administrative unit to the Indian government from the Northeastern Frontier Agency. So the Indian government agreed to this, and they agreed to form the North Hills Naga Hills Tinsang area separated from Nefa, and it was constituted with three districts, that is Kohima, Mokokchung, and Tinsang. So what is ASPA? So ASPA stands for Armed Forces Special Powers Act, and it was passed in 1858, an act of parliament that grants special powers to the Indian Armed Forces to maintain public order in disturbed area. So it is a draconian act of parliament that grants special powers to Indian Armed Forces to maintain public order in disturbed area. And according to the Disturbed Area Special Courts Act 1976, the area has to maintain status quo for minimum of 3 months. What is the objective of the observation of Vigilance Awareness Week? The objective of the observations of the Vigilance Week during the last week of October, so this current affairs, is to maintain all stakeholders to collectively participate in the prevention and the fight against corruption and raise public awareness regarding the issue and gravity posed by corruption. What are the different branches of the planning department? So the main different branches of the planning department are planning branch. So it consists of formulation and planning of development programs, evaluation and monitoring, and of plan implementation and manpower planning. So and the next branch is the general administrative branch, which includes the urban development branch, the economic statistics and evaluation department. So the planning department consists of the planning branch, which plans the overall uh, schemes and implementation of manpower, and also the general administrative branch. So for 2 marks you can write this. Next, for 5 marks, write a note on the salubrious climate of Nagaland. So what is salubrious? Salubrious means pleasant climate of Nagaland. So for 5 marks you can start it as the state of Nagaland enjoys a salubrious climate. Annual rainfall is from 2000 to 2500 millimeter, concentrated in the month from May to September, that is mostly monsoon, and temperature ranges from 21 degrees to 40 degrees Celsius during that time. In winter, the temperature do not drop below 4 degrees Celsius, that is, it does not reduce to negative, but frost is common at higher elevation like Zugu, Jafu, and summer is the shortest season in the state, lasting for a few months. The temperature during summer is between 31 at 16 degrees Celsius and 31 degrees Celsius, and winter makes an early arrival. And bitter cold dry winds strike certain regions of the state. The strong northeast wind blows across the state during the month of February and March. Overall, the climate of Nagaland is celebrated in nature. So we can write this for 5 marks. No need to explain many things. Next, what food items are considered taboo by Naga tribes? So what is considered taboo? Taboo means which is not to be eaten or which is not to be used among the tribe. So there's a lot of food items which is considered taboo by the Naga tribes. The Naga tribes have a taboo on consuming meat of certain animals as they fear that the qualities of animals will be transferred to the users. So, for example, women are not permitted to eat monkey meat as it will make her extravagant, that is, spending too much. Pregnant women are not allowed to eat bear meat, and Semas believe that tigers and leopards are not to be eaten because, as it is believed that man, tiger, and spirit are all brothers. So the Semas believe that eating tiger and leopard is taboo because in their in the folklore, the man, tiger, and spirit were all brothers of the same creation. And during Kena means it is for that Kena in Angami term means it is forbidden, and during the time no agriculture activity nor labor is done, and as a result of this not even hunting is permitted. So during the time Naga men and women are prohibited from consuming certain types of food, and lastly the Lothas prohibit the consumption of dog meat. Next, what is the importance of the Constitution 13 Amendment 1962 for the administration of Nagaland state? So Nagaland was present as a tribal area within the state of Assam after the Naga Hills Tinsang area was formed following the first convention of the Naga People's Convention. An agreement was made in July 1960 between the government of India and the leaders of Naga People's Convention to incorporate the state of Nagaland into the Union of India, and as a result of this, the Nagaland was inaugurated as the 13th state as the 16th state of India following the 13th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1962, which came into first force on 1st of December 1963. And and the following are the importance for this Constitution Amendment Act. So it inserted a new Article 371A to provide special provisions to the state of Nagaland. It led to the creation of Nagaland state as the 16th state of India. It provided for special powers to the government to maintain law and order as long as situation continues to remain disturbed, and it also made funds to be available to the new states of government of India, and it provided for the administration of the Insan district for a period of 10 years. So these are all the provisions of the 16-point agreement which was incorporated into the 13th Amendment Act creation of Nagaland, as well as the addition of Article 371A. So for 5 marks you can include those 5 points. Next, what is the function of the Administrative Training Institute? So this question is asked either for 2 marks or 5 marks. For 2 marks you can write this only these two functions, that is to identify the training needs of all civil servants to design appropriate training courses. But however, this question is asked for 5 marks, so we can write the introduction as the Administrative Training Institute at Kohima is the apex training institute and consultancy arm of the state government, and it was established in 1972, and it is used to give training to the NCS as well as the NSS. That is the Nagaland Civil Service and the Nagaland Secretary Service, and the main responsibility are identify the training needs of all categories of civil servant, design appropriate training courses, and to impart effective training to new recruits of civil service. And lastly, the Nagaland Administrative Training Institute wishes to achieve the following outcomes, that is to bring about right professional and intellectual orientation among the trainees, and keep updating the professional knowledge to cope with the fast changing situation. So the two other objectives of the Administrative Training Institute is to bring out the ethical and professional orientation of the civil servants, that will help them in their future endeavors as administrators, and keep updating professional knowledge, that is keeping the civil services updated with the um, fast changing world. So these are the objectives. So next, what for 10 marks you what is describe the novelty of Naga character. So what do you mean by this question? So the novelty of Naga character is the smiling attitude of the Nagas. So the question is asking what are the reasons that what is the nature of this Naga character, and how did it evolve? So we can start with an uh, answer that on an average, Nagamen are virtuous. Despite the ruler-rule conflict, the British officials praised the Nagas for their hospitality, serving smiling servitude towards the sympathizers and honest visitors. So the Nagas were the British officials who praised the Nagas for their hospitality, smiling servitude, and cheerfulness and merrymaking are traditional values among the Nagas, regardless of tribal belonging. So any tribe, whichever tribe you see, will have this innate character of smiling, cheerfulness, and merrymaking. Tradition has taught them to be cheerful even in most odd times, and even during problems, we often deal our problems with a smile. So, despite resourcelessness and material worries, despite our Naga forefathers having no resource and material worries, it was very rare to see a grieving Naga man. So, this explains why uh, our Nagas suffer. There is less Nagas who suffer from depression. So, the search for this adorable trait in any society is a futile exercise. Naga's cheerful character is best represented when they are in a group. For reasons or no reasons, they will burst into cheerful laughter every now and then. And it is confessed by them that they can go without food for days, but they cannot live without laughing a full breath and having fun, making fun. So this was the introduction and the reasons behind the cheerful nature. So what was the condition and what was the reason that Nagas are cheerful? So it is necessary to look into the historicity of the Nagas acquiring this adorable quality in the personal character. So to look for this adorable quality, we need to go back to history, and in this regard, some explanation may be put forward. So the first explanation is that Naga is a hill state and it has many scenic beauty, intoxicating, and Nagas are always under the intoxicating influence of natural bounty all around his ancestral land. Given the beauty of his habitat, he has every right to welcome and celebrate it cheerfully. He considers his beautiful land as a rare gift from God. Cheerfulness is the most appropriate expression for thanking him. So the scenic beauty of our surrounding has enabled us to be cheerful all the time, then be grateful to the God for providing this wonderful land. And second is that since Nagas have fought each other for many years, so throughout the existence, Nagas have suffered much from mutual bloodshed, hatred, and conflict through headhunting, and cheerfulness was sought as an effective remedy to escape from agonies and ordeals. So ever since the Nagas were in war with each other, there was the only effective remedy was to be cheerful in those dark times. Next, the birth of the Naga Club in 1918 might have acted as a stimulus. The members of the Naga Club took the first initiative, took successful attempt to build the Pan Naga unity, and must have advised the folks to forswear violence of headhunting. So, in order to fill the trust deficit, they resorted to Bender's hearty welcome and cheerfulness. So, the birth of the Naga Club in 1918 by Rufuno Rachuma after they returned from France, and they agreed to form a socio-political organization for the Nagas. So the outlook the outlook of the Nagas began to change, and they felt that they must be united from each tribe. They must be united to form a pan Naga unity. So in order to come together, first they need to forswear the violence and agonies. So due to this, the Naga club must have advised the elders to give up violence and be united uh, again. Next, during the long period of isolation from the outer world, Nagas apparently denied themselves various channels of entertainment, leisure, and fun making. Being an innovative person, they might have discovered this archaic way of self expression and building a close consanguinity. So, this means that our traditional Naga political structure, Naga social political structure, is that it was confined to a village and no outsider was allowed to eat, nor any person went out of the village. So it was a closed structure, and as a result, the Nagas living inside the village did not have any source of entertainment. So because they were cut off from the other villages, and each and every village uh, for us follow this system. So as a result of this, in order to curb this loneliness and in order to curb this loneliness, they must have discovered this particular quality to cheer themselves up. So these are some of the reasons why the Nagas are cheerful in nature, and this explains the novel character of the Nagas. So with this, the 10 marks question has come to an end. Let's go to the 20 marks. Discuss why the role of the governor is of great importance to Nagaland. So this question is asking the special role of the governor in Nagaland. So first introduction, that is, the governor is the head of the state under Article 155, and he acts as the agent of the central government. He is appointed by the president and he holds for a term of 5 years, which is subject to the pleasure of the president. So we will now explain why the role of governor is very important. The governor of Nagaland has special responsibility with respect to law and order, which shall be exercised after consulting the council and minister, and act on the basis of his individual judgment under Article 371A. So 371A has provided the governor that he shall exercise his special powers after consulting the council and minister, and act on his individual judgment. The governor shall have special responsibility with regard to law and order during the transition period. So the transition period is after the statehood has been provided. The Nagas are holding over the administration. So during this time, the governor will have special responsibility towards law and order, and for the transition period, and or as long as the law and order continues to remain disturbed on account of hostile activities by the underground Nagas. And in exercising his special responsibility, the governor shall, after consultation with the Home Ministry, act on his individual judgment, and this special responsibility will go away or will cease when normalcy returns. And additionally, the governor was also provided with the administration of Tinsang district for a period of 10 years or so, when the tribes of Tinsang were capable of shouldering their own responsibility of administration. But however, this provision has been removed. Next, provided that further regional council shall always also be formed for the Tinsang district by elected representatives from all tribes of Tinsang, and governor may nominate representatives to the regional council as well. So this was one of the special powers of the governor. However, these provisions have been repealed by the representatives of the Tinsang districts. And next, as head of the state, the governor awards governor medal, president's medal, special prize, and honors. Nagaland state government has instituted the Governor's Award for Distinction in Art, Music, Literature since 2003, and they are awarded in Republic Day at Dover Hall, Raj Bhavan, and some of the additional functions of the Governor of Nagaland is that he is the Chief Rector of Nagaland University, Chancellor of Global Open University, and he is the visitor of the Institute of Chartered Financial Analysts of India University Nagaland, and his ex officio role include the Chief Rector of Nagaland University, the President of the Rajya Sainik Board, the President of the Indian Red Cross Society Nagaland, Chief Patron of Nagaland Scout and Guides, and he is the Chairman of the Northeast Cultural Center. So with this, the NPSC 2018 question paper mains have come to an end. I hope you all like the video. Please like and subscribe and keep supporting my channel. Thank you.